nervous tonight as I look out over the audience, because I see that the room is filled with the cognoscenti. That is, those who know. And how many of you have read one or more of the Conversation of God books? That's what I was afraid of. So I have nothing to say to you tonight that you haven't already heard, that you don't already know, nothing to share with you, nothing that I can do. There's not a move I can make here that you haven't already guessed or seen. I feel a bit like Madonna's next husband on his wedding night. I know what it is I want to do, I'm just not certain I can make it interesting. But, like him, I'm going to try. So, it's nice to have you all here, and it's good that we can all be together. And I don't think it's an accident that we are together here tonight in this time and place. In fact, I'd like you to consider the possibility that every one of you has found your way to this place by appointment. That each of you has come here with a purpose, with intention. And that purpose and that intention may or may not be clearly known to you now, but I want you to entertain the possibility that there are no coincidences, that no one is here by accident, and that you've come here, and we have come here together tonight by divine appointment. Because there's something very important that we must do. Something very important that needs to be done. And it needs to be done in this moment in time. Not next year or the year after. Not in 5 years nor in 10. But right here and right now. By those of us who feel called to the task. And I've come here tonight to share a bit about that with you. Even though, as I mentioned a moment ago, I'm aware that many of you may already know what it is I'm going to share. If nothing else, then it will be a reminder, a refresher, to reinvigorate, to re-excite, to re-inject a sense of what is true and of who we are into this present moment. To inject a sense of that into this present moment, because this present moment in time needs a sense of who you are right now. Indeed, without that, in the absence of that, we may not have many more moments like this moment in our long-range future, and perhaps not even in our short-term one. I don't come tonight as a doomsday predictor. I don't come tonight with bad news for the human race. Indeed, I come with good news, but it would be foolish of us to ignore the circumstance with which we are faced as a collective called humanity. It would be foolish for us to fail to acknowledge simply what is so. That we are standing on the precipice. We are standing on the edge. And humanity is pushing us toward the abyss. If we're not careful, we will go there. If we're not careful, life as we know it on this planet could, in fact, disappear. Oh, life on the planet itself will probably not disappear, but the quality of life, the way we're living our life now, could become a thing of the past without a whole lot more happening, without a whole lot different going on. Just a little bit of exaggeration of what is already occurring. In fact, as I'm sure you all know, much of life as we once knew it has already disappeared. And many of the stories of our youth we cannot tell children because they won't know what we're talking about. And so if we are to hold on to what is left of this extraordinary life that we have created on earth, if we are to hang on to the paradise that has been created on this planet by the lot of us, and by the way, nowhere is paradise more in evidence than in Canada. I have traveled here many times now. This is my third visit to Calgary alone. And I've been all over this wonderful country many times. And it is, as I know you know, a paradise. And sometimes when you're living in it, when you're amongst it, when it's part of your daily experience, sometimes perhaps it might be easy to forget, or to overlook, or to not actually see it that way. But I promise you that people all over the world increasingly become aware and absolutely come to know when they arrive here that this place is a paradise. Now the question is, how can we keep it like that and extend the paradise that has been created here and the life that we all enjoy to all the peoples of the world, wherever they may be? I had a fascinating experience in the past hour or so. I was in a reception in a building across the parking lot. And people were coming up to me and saying hello. And we were signing books and just chatting for a bit. We had about a minute or two with each person, not much time, but every other person, it seemed, said something to me that touched my heart very deeply. But more than touching my heart, it touched my soul with an urgent sense of this moment now. In a way I will describe presently. Here is what just about every other or every third person said to me out of 100 people who were in that reception. Neale, this book, these books, changed my life. Neale, I can't tell you how much these books meant to me. Neale, everything is different now because I've read these books. Thank you, Neale. Thank you, and thank God. Over and over again, I heard that one person after the other, some of you sitting here who said those words to me. And I hear that everywhere I go. And I don't accept it as a personal compliment, although I do receive the thanks with honor, and I honor you for extending those thanks, but I don't feel it as gratitude for something I've done. Because, in fact, I feel all I did was take good notes. As it turns out, at the end, I'm a good stenographer. Because all I did was take dictation. But I do, when I hear over and over again, thank you, Neale, thank you, God, these books, this message changed my life. The impact on my life is incalculable. When I hear those kinds of words, what I hear really is a sense of urgency in my own soul. I almost want to jump up and say to people who tell me that, thank you for saying that to me. Thank you for experiencing it that way. And now what? Now what? Where to from here with this? Because if the impact of these extraordinary books begins and ends with you, that will be one thing, and that will be very nice. What would it be like if the whole world could be touched in the way you have been? would it be like if even just a few others could know in their lives what you have known in yours as a result of this extraordinary message? A message of salvation. A message having to do with a new kind of God. And the new kind of life that emerges from our new understanding of God and each other. What would happen if we could decide that these extraordinary books would become more than yesterday's ice cream, more than a string of bestsellers that came along in the last part of the 20th century and the first part of the 21st, but in fact, if we imagine them to be what they purport to be, a communication to humanity, from humanity, a communication to life, about life itself, a communication from God to God, to the part of God that is you. What if we thought, if we really decided that that is in fact what it is, not just the latest human potential movement with a new twist, but really and truly a direct communication from the divine to the divine.
If you enjoy what you've just seen, consider making a donation so that you can have even greater access to more downloadable media and other content as well. Or visit our store and check out our calendar as well.